sekarang kalau kita mau bikin, kita betul-betul lah. Pasal apa ni, government kasih 6 bulan saja kan. Kalau itu hari kita jumpa ada satu tanam daripada 1,000, sudah jadi 0.101%.
Saya tadi ada tenang tu, dia semua kumpul. Dia dekat kasih decan, mogok.
Today, Omar will get his palm pods picked and rubber tapped. But in the future, that will depend on his success in recruiting more foreign workers.
I worry about who will care for the plantation in the future, who will cut the rubber trees. If we don't do something about this labor shortage, I don't know how this plantation will survive.
The government has to balance the need for foreign workers against the danger of upsetting the country's delicate racial balance. 20 years of positive discrimination towards Bumiputras has seen the proportion of Indians in professions almost halved. But the real power struggle in Malaysia remains between the Malays and the Chinese, as it has been since the 1969 riots. When Paul Lowe returned after the riots, he found a new Malaysia. A Malaysia of quotas for Bumiputras in education and the civil service, and positive discrimination towards Bumiputras in business.
If we continue to have strong affirmative actions, we're going to drive a wedge between the Bumiputra community and the Chinese, and this is no good for the nation.
Today, Paul Lowe is head of a company making sheet glass. His company is successful because he brought a Malay into the family business as a partner. To qualify for a government license, a firm must have at least 30% Bumiputra ownership. Even under Vision 2020, that rule still remains in place. It's a rule that already has increased Malay wealth 1,000% in 20 years. But that's been at the expense of the Chinese. Many resent affirmative action and bypass rules by making their Malay only a paper partner. They give a percentage of the profits, but no say in running the business. But Paul Lowe knows that until Bumiputras are fully involved in business, the spectre of the 1969 riots won't fade. In this lecture room, he plans to pass on the business skills of Chinese, so Bumiputras can be proper partners.
The risk of failure is high, but I feel that someone must do it anyway, and I'm prepared to take the challenge.
The most important thing is the struggle. If you want to do something and you put your strength, everything into it, definitely you can achieve it.
Rohani has 10 children, including 3 sets of twins. What she wants for them is what she wants for Malaysia.
I believe in development, but there are different definitions of development. I believe in development that retains our values, our culture, and our kampung way of life.
"75% of Malaysia's factory workers are women. Rohani's concern is that the work is specialised, and if the multinationals go elsewhere looking for cheaper labour, the women will be left with nothing. So she trains them in new skills.
Kerja, lepas kerja tidur, lepas tu esok kerja. Tapi sekali saya tinggal di sini, saya banyak pengalaman dari segi pergaulan macam ni, dari segi pelajaran, macam khusus bahasa Inggeris kan.
Dan siap berapa ramai yang sanggup hadapi dugaan dan cabaran? Yang ada kesedaran, tapi ramai yang tak sanggup. Dan kita juga tahu wawasan 2020, kita akan menjadi negara yang industrialized. Tapi kalau kita tidak ada perlindungan, Anak-anak kita, mungkin kita esok dah tua, anak-anak kita, cucu-cucu kita akan bekerja sebagai pekerja kilang di Malaysia. Jadi,
In an industry which bans national unions, Rahani's group of electronics workers is as close as you can get to one.
kita tahu kita pekerja-pekerja elektronik dah menjangkau angka lebih kurang 100,000 pekerja-pekerja elektronik. Jadi kita fikir sendiri, kalau ada 100,000 ahli dalam satu union, apa akan jadi pada union itu?
From the beginning, Malaysia's industrialization has been driven by foreign development, by multinational companies hunting for a bargain. The national car was built with Japanese technology and under Japanese management. And every day, the pro-government newspapers tell of new foreign investment, increasingly from Taiwan. For reporters, the economy provides a steady stream of good news stories.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me first of all bid you a warm welcome to this industry and trade dialogue. And we hope that this dialogue will be successful. The government will continue to ensure a conducive and favourable environment for investment, both local and foreign.
One of the government's most recent and publicised plans to sustain growth is to invite a group of exclusively Asian countries to consult on economic policy. America, in particular, has been angered by the plan and is trying to torpedo it. But Malaysians are imbued with a new and strong sense of nationalism, including Omar, despite all his problems.
The developed nations of the world seem to know nothing about Malaysia. A few years ago, when I was in France, I was detained by French immigration officers. They asked me where I was from, and I said Malaysia. They never heard of it. Then they took out a paper listing all the world's countries and searched in the M section for Malaysia. There was Mali and even Malawi, but no Malaysia. I was so angry that I had to argue with them that my country existed.
By the time Omar's children are adults, all that will most likely have changed. Malaysia is heading toward the top 20 of world exporters. And particularly for a Muslim country, some of its reforms are having a radical effect. The government's encouragement of Bumiputra business ventures has motivated Seema to set up a cake shop. And Omar is not at all pleased at the hours it entails.
I have to prepare the icing cake, then Swiss roll, curry puff, the Danish pastry. How many
Me
ages?
or something.
7 o'clock.
Then not necessary for him to work tonight. Very long hours.
If not finish about the icings, all that Danish have to do by tonight. Otherwise cannot, they eat cutlet all.
Kasihan dia nak beli apa nama.
Seema's shop won't be specialising in traditional Malay fare. But that's not what has Omar worried.
Times have changed, and wives want to work. I wasn't so sure, but in the end I agreed to give my wife money to start a bakery shop. But I worry about the effect on the children. When they come home from school, their mother isn't home anymore.
Paul Lowe is trying to rally support for his business school, for his vision of teaching Malays and Chinese to work together by better understanding each other.
The whole course actually will last about 3 weeks. Okay? And for each subject area, we intend to invite existing entrepreneurs to come and either lecture or share the experience.
Actually, as you can see, it's going to be a very tough project to carry through. I'm trying to get the support of the entrepreneurs locally to help out. But what do you all think? Are you all confident or not?
It probably will be quite difficult to try to identify potential Bumiputra entrepreneurs or new entrants into the...
There's ample reason to doubt Paul Lowe's chances of success. He's trying to bridge the racial divisions of decades.
Of course, you can take the attitude that if you are a successful businessman, you can be selfish, you can continue to make more money for yourself. But I feel you need to be more socially responsible, and if we can make things better, why not?
How will you go about selecting the people or inviting people to come for this?
Only those people we specifically targeted, identify, and then only have more in-depth refresher course to help them out.
We got into business. I mean, but so really, in a way, I mean, I find a little bit of difficulty trying to get it actually having to teach entrepreneurship. You really think
we cannot teach entrepreneurship, but we can let them share the experience of successful entrepreneurs. For example, like yourselves. I don't think I should fail, but if I do, then I will try again until I succeed. Is Fang Chi in, please? Paul Lowe? Yeah.
It's the day of reckoning for the Murut village. Siban and his friends have prepared well for the government official, despite the fact that they're far from convinced about the Vision 2020 plans. To turn their cleared forest land into a palm oil plantation still seems fraught with uncertainty. But it's an important occasion, and the Muruts will give the official a fitting welcome.
Yang membuat Datu korup. Oleh kerana tuan-tuan dan puan-puan tahu bahawa walaupun Datu kita ini sibuk sangat betul-betul mementingkan kepada kepentingan kita dari masa ke masa.
Apabila kerajaan datang di kawasan ini bukan semata-mata merampas tanah, tetapi tujuan utama ialah mencari jalan. Walaupun saya sendiri ada minta pada yang hormat Ketua Menteri supaya tanah ini sepatutnya dibahagi-bahagikan. Tetapi saya lihat, oleh kerana kayu balaknan di daerah Tadungawan ini nanti, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian, tidak ada ekonomi kita di sini. Dalam arti kata, kita sendiri susah. Selepas itu tuan-tuan dan puan-puan sekalian, kita sendiri sedari betapa pentingnya bagi kita untuk menerima rancangan kerajaan untuk membangunkan kawasan ini. Jadi saudara dan saudara sekalian, saya harap marilah kita bekerja sama supaya kita dapat jayakan. Saya tegaskan sini sekali lagi saudara dan saudara sekalian, tujuan SLDB masuk ke kawasan ini ialah bukan semata-mata merampas tanah. Suatu budaya. Terusnya, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, selama 10 menit. Bintang. Bahwa satu skim penempatan diadakan oleh pihak Kapolda di Kamartoy. Kami skim kami tidak berhak lagi. Kalau kami tidak ada grant. Dan di mana kami tinggal? Seperti di Kamartoy sekarang, beberapa orang keluarga kami yang tidak ada tempat. Bahwa mereka itu adalah penduduk asli di... Senang sekali kalau
Kerana itu bersabit dengan Sapolda memang tidak kena mengena dengan LKTNS lah. Tapi kalau kita berjaya mewujudkan skim LKTNS di daerah ini,
The plantation would tie Siban and his people to